morning everyone, and welcome to, I guess, my very first video. Well, actually, it's kind of the second. I kind of screwed up the first video because I don't know how to do anything. But good morning. My name is Kayla. I am making these videos to essentially keep myself accountable for the things I want to do with my life. And one of the things I've always wanted to do ever since, well, I shouldn't say since I was a kid. I've loved illustration, I've loved drawing my entire life, but I've always wanted to create my own story and my own comic. And so essentially that's what this channel is going to be used for, is keeping myself accountable, creating my work and finishing out my dreams, like things that I've always wanted to do. Also one of them being creating a YouTube channel. I've wanted to do that since I was like 12 years old. I'm 23 now, so it took me a while. I've always wanted to try at least, and isn't that the coolest part about a dream is starting it? Introduction to what this video is going to be about. I have my outline like right beside me because I don't know how to create a video that doesn't go on 18 different tangents. I wanted to talk about character design for my first video and kind of use this as like a vloggy thing. So I'll introduce to you my characters. My first character being Clay. He's a cute little redhead who also has the powers of life and death. His parents are life and death, and he comes to the world, the human world, so he can fix flowers and go to graveyards and just like fix up things. Then there's Grayson, my second character, and he's kind of just this moody teen boy. He's 18, Clay is 19. They're close in age. Grayson is kind of this very angsty teen boy. He thinks he knows everything. He doesn't. And he likes being alone. He's more introverted. He's not as like outgoing, but he really enjoys the darkness in the world. Like he enjoys angsty things. Like he enjoys going to graveyards in the middle of the night by himself because he just wants to feel something. And I really like that part of him. Clay is more playful, I guess I would say, very happy, very positive, and I would say outgoing, but he doesn't mean to be. So how did I choose the character personalities? How did I come up with them? Well, I guess you could say that both Clay and Gray are kind of like mixes of myself. And I actually think that's probably pretty true for anybody who makes comics, is like there's a part of themselves in their character, or there's like at least a small inkling of like who they are. If you guys have ever read Jujutsu Kaisen, which is like one of my favorite animes to watch. I haven't read the manga. Too nervous because I don't want to know everything that happens now that I've started watching the anime. Creator of that manga, apparently he hates his character Gojo, but all of like his like assistants say he's exactly like Gojo. So I just think it's really funny that people tend to just like hate their characters. I really like my characters, not to like be cocky or anything, but I really enjoy both of my characters. I think they really are the two halves of myself, one being like my very positive, playful side, which is Clay, and Grayson being almost like my pessimistic, like more negative side, I guess I would say, like very angsty, and I almost like want to say he was like my old self and Clay is like more of who I am now. So it's almost like talking to like my old self when I'm writing this character, which kind of brings me to my next point. How do you keep writing that story? How do you keep creating that work? Because like, you know, we tend to, especially artists, we tend to pick up things and never finish them. And I totally get that. I am one of those people. I try my best to not be that person. Sorry, there's a train. Woo. One of the things that I always do is I will give myself a little bit too much, or I can finish it, or I just get really lazy about it and then I don't hold myself accountable and actually finish that project because I move on to the next thing so quickly. But a lot of things that I start, I end up doing because I feel very pressured to do them by other people. Nobody wants to be backed into a corner, and I really felt that a lot of the time because they wanted me to push things more and more and more, instead of just doing art as I wanted to do it. What if you added clay to it? And I'm like, I don't want to add clay to my work. I just want to draw a comic with characters that I enjoy. And if you don't enjoy it, you don't have to, but it's if I enjoy it. And that is another point for me to make. It's like when you create a piece of work, especially when it comes to making a comic or making a story, whatever it is you're doing, it doesn't matter if it's a written story or a comic, you have to really like your characters and what you're doing. I mean, some people can push through that. Some people can push themselves to so many different points. I cannot. If I don't like something, I'm not going to continue doing it. Like, maybe that's wrong of me. Maybe that means I'm not a hard worker, but like, why would I continue to do something that doesn't make me happy? Keeping yourself accountable means really planning like who you're going to be talking about. How does it make you feel? Do you get excited by your characters? Do you get excited, but in the long run, by your story? Do you want to continue with it? Do you need instant gratification to continue with something? Because then that also comes to the fact of like, well, then do you really want to be creating a narrative piece of work, a comic, if like you need instant gratification? I am one of those people who really needs instant gratification. It's awful. I hate it about myself, but like I really am one of those people. The thing is like I've gotten to a point where I really have realized that I do need to continue with this. I do need to push myself a little bit more than I usually do, and I need to keep myself on a schedule and actually get myself over these humps of like, well, but I'm tired and I don't want to create this. If you want to do something, go do it. You can wait around forever hoping your comic you'll just have inspiration for it. Or you can just be like, okay, this is something I want. I guess I have to start it. And that's the hardest part for artists, is starting a project. That is a fight that you either lose very quickly or you win also just as easily. It's just what you choose to do with it. Kind of going on to that next thing. How do you plan a chapter? How do you keep yourself accountable with it? How do you plan your work? Sorry, I live by an airport. Do you hear it? I live in the greatest part of the city. Gosh, what show are we watching today? Is it trains, planes, and automobiles? I hate myself. Anyways, so how do you plan a chapter? Definitely quick sketches, map out your panels, look up other people's work. That's something I'm really bad at doing. I am definitely not the greatest at looking at other people's work because I tend to compare a lot. And that is another sticky situation that we get into a lot, is comparing ourselves. Don't ever compare your work to other people's work. There are people who are going to be better than you. There are going to be people who are at the same level. There are going to be people who I guess are worse. I don't know if that is actually a thing you can say. I think everyone has talent. Everyone can be an artist. Anyone can be an artist. It's just whether or not you put the work into it to do that for yourself, to express yourself. Other people express themselves in different ways. I feel like comparing your work is important. Looking at other people's work and getting inspired by it is important. You can't come up with a different color. Like, you can't come up with another color other than the ones that we already know in this world. So it's like, why would you think that you can just come up with your own special individualized, like, it's like, no, all of our ideas come off of other things. All of our ideas come from other people and places and like the universe. Whether it's like, maybe you're inspired by manga or anime, maybe you're inspired by old school comics from DC or Marvel. Like, it really doesn't matter. Just make sure that you are looking at people's work and seeing the art in it, seeing like what you like out of it. Like, how does that panel lay out? Like, what do you like about the dialogue between the characters? What do you like about the narration being told in it? How is the page like laid out in the sense of like, is it pretty? Is it watercolor? Is it digital? Like, you know, like, is it black and white? Is it colored? What do you want from it? And also know that if you do black and white, that's going to be a lot faster than doing a colored comic. My comics are colored, and wow, is that a pain in the ass to deal with. But I do think it's worth it in the end, because I really love what my comics turn into and what they look like at the end of the day. Keep yourself on a schedule. I actually just recently bought a like an hour by hour planner, and wow, does that sound stressful, but I actually think that would be really, really good for me. Keeping myself hour by hour, like planning out my days, like, oh, this is when I have to work, this is when I have to work on my art, this is when I have to do commissions. I don't have any commissions right now. If anyone wants any commissions, I'm willing to be paid on the side, if you know what I'm saying. I don't know how to get commissions. Keeping yourself on a schedule is important. That's really what school was. And I really didn't realize that until after I got out of school, because at least for my art classes, we would have like 2.5 hour classes, sometimes 4 hour classes, and wow, those suck. Don't ever take a 4-hour ceramics class, especially if you fucking hate ceramics, because guess what? You're not gonna like it. You're not gonna love that class. Don't be me, don't be stupid when you don't like clay. The point is that when you're in classes, when you're at work, those are hours of the day that you just have to take out. Those were hours like you were scheduled for. Therefore, it's like, okay, well, I have to go do this thing. I have to show up to class. Otherwise, I'm wasting $400 every class. I have to show up to work. Otherwise, I'm not going to get paid. And I feel like you have to do that for yourself when you are trying to create work, when you are trying to create a business for yourself, when you're trying to create YouTube videos. It's like you have to keep yourself accountable. You have to keep yourself on a schedule. And I know I keep using the word accountability or accountable, but I really do think it's a word that is necessary for me. I haven't been keeping myself accountable whatsoever, and I think that's why I haven't gotten farther with my work. I think I could have had more commissions by now, or I could have had more chapters by now if I was keeping myself to a schedule and actually mapping out my time better. I'm going to be starting this week. I would start today, but today is like my only day off. I will create my schedule this week. I'm going to be mapping out times. I will be creating YouTube videos. I will be creating, I guess, vlogs and like art vlogs, talking about my work, talking about life, talking about things I like to do in the new city that I just moved to. I will be keeping myself accountable. I will make time for fun. I will make time for art. I will make time for work and friends and like whatever else I decide to do with my life. And I'll tell you guys about it. I'm really excited to start this channel. I'm really excited to talk about my characters, and show you guys how my work grows. And if you want to check out my webtoon, actually I have 2 webtoons. I haven't posted to the newest one or the oldest one recently. It was my first one was like Sketchy Kayla, which was like kind of like a narrative diary about like what was happening in my life or old stories. My newest one I'm really proud of, and that one is called The Ordinary Quests of Gray and Clay, which are the characters I've been talking about today. I am very excited for these characters. I'm very excited for their story. And I can't wait for you guys to get to know them and get to know me. And if you guys have any questions, or if you want to talk about anything else, if you want to talk about like how I plan to get commissions, or how I plan to set up my schedule, I am more than willing to talk about that with you guys. But anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will edit this video. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if I can upload this video to YouTube, because wow, did my first one fail. But yeah, anyways, goodbye guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. See you around.